I have never really wanted one of those gigantic curved wall, humongous HP monster cases. So I felt that that was kind of too much of a distraction away from the way I like to think about this format. I like to think about these kind of discrete instruments that can, move around and contain a purpose for a specific thing. And those big setups just don't really align with how I think about it. No, if you have a huge one of those cases, good for you. That's awesome. I just never really saw myself buying one of them. But I do admire the craft of making them. People that especially take that process seriously, put a lot of work into that. And the one name that kind of stands out in that space above all to me is Eric Needham. His client list is insane. James Blake, J.J. Abrams, probably other people that don't have names that start with J. And he really treats it like a piece of furniture. And I've never planned on spending the several thousands of dollars on one of his cases, but I always liked to just kind of admire the craft that goes into it. Not super long ago, he launched a line of extension cabinets for the Matriarch, which I thought were kind of brilliant. A little bit out of what I wanted as a price range. I've still been working on the A and B case and been very satisfied, and the music that those help me make and the instrumentation that they've kind of become. And on the back of my mind, I've always thought maybe someday I'll get one of those Matriarch extensions. And then, of course, I'm scrolling mindlessly, and he posts a $350 off flash sale of a Matriarch case. So I sent him a DM and bought it a couple minutes later. So now it's here. I now have a new problem. It's a good problem. It's many more HP. I don't remember off the top of my head. This many. 7U again with an extra 1U row actually on the back. I think primarily to hold the power switch, which is in the 1U format itself, that you can kind of move to the back. But to me, the Matriarch has been this instrument that is, incredibly powerful on its own. It's got a beautifully simple signal path. The patching of it is something that I've not really pushed to an extreme. Small tweaks and adjustments of how I want the signal flow to work here and there, but nothing, extremely major. I think this new case, to me, is going to probably start as a bit of an overflow, which is really what the B case began as. It was an overflow for the A case as I was starting to really get the A case dialed in, and eventually I settled on a more specific purpose for the B case and leaned into that over the last year. I think that this case, which I don't want to call the C case, it's just going to be the Matriarch case, whatever. This case is probably going to follow a pretty similar pattern. A bunch of space. It'll be some nice overflow as I'm still kind of tweaking the mixer setup that I want in the B case. And slowly I'll be able to kind of add to it to fill in some of the gaps. I think one of the things I know I want in here is some kind of quantizer. I like Instruo's Harmonig. I can't remember what the name of it is. The Instruo one that's got the 4 outs, because there's 4 voices, and I think that thing can generate smart chord progressions and correctly voiced chords that I think would go great into the kind of paraphonic mode of the Matriarch, which is a mode I really, really enjoy. That's really the only module I think I know I want to go in here. Everything else is going to be up for grabs. But I'm sure in this space I'll talk about it and gripe about it and share the trials and tribulations and mistakes, and hopefully eventually some neat sounds. I think the format is one that I have missed for a little bit. If you go back in time to my really early videos, you'll often see an early format version of the A case on top of a piano, which is kind of just above me right now. And I used to keep that case there connected to the MIDI of that piano, and I used the keys to kind of trigger things and, play a voice or something. And I liked that setup for a while. And this will be kind of a nice way to bring some of that back into my flow, or an option of an instrument, without having to, dedicate space for a MIDI module in the A case that I really don't want to have taking up that much room. So I think the thought process here is going to continue, right? This is going to feel like one big instrument if it works out well. If I'm able to settle on things and find what it needs, what does the Matriarch need? Not a delay. Some other stuff though. I'm sure there'll be fun things that I stumble into and figure out over time. But I do like that, as my, call it, collection of modular grows, it is still in this instrument focus, and still has this kind of deliberate, what is this instrument for, and what is it going to do, and how am I supposed to use it, or how is it expected to be used, and then also what aspects of it are left up for grabs, or left variable, and how can it be extended. The beauty being, of course, that if I wanted to merge this case and the A and B case in a kind of triple case setup, I've got plenty of long cables to do just that. But I think to start, it's going to be its own thing, and I'm pretty excited about that. So I know I haven't been putting a lot of videos lately on this channel. I've actually been putting out videos on a channel for work, for what I'll call my day job. That sounds like it's minimizing. I really like the work that I'm doing there, but that's scratching some of the video production itch and some of the creative itch, which is, I think, always a good thing when you're able to have a role that helps fulfill that. So I haven't been kind of feeling the need to put content here, but at the same time, things have just been busy. I'm hoping to be a little bit more back on track, especially after this room is now kind of set up. Desks down here, all the gears down here wired up, and I can actually be done with the move and transition into this space and begin kind of refocusing on what I want to do with it and what kind of music I want to be making. So things might be sporadic as I'm busy and navigating a bunch of stuff, but hopefully you will hopefully things will stay kind of on track for what I feel is worthwhile to put out. And over the course of the next, I don't know, probably a couple years, how long it will take me to fill out this Matriarch case, I give it at least a year until it's settled into something. All right, it's like 1 a.m. I've been rambling for too long. I don't think there's going to be any music in this one. See you in the next one. Maybe there'll be some music there. Peace.